Welcome to the Minute of Terror channel. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment where you are watching this video from.
I was never big on weird, spooky stuff. Always thought people who claimed to hear things were just being dramatic or fishing for attention. But everything changed in the house I lived in until last year. A simple place in a quiet neighborhood, the kind where everyone knows each other by sight, but nobody really knows what's going on behind closed doors. I lived with my mom and my little sister, and our house shared a back wall with Mrs. Marina's place. She was an older lady, kind of kept to herself, lived with her husband. They were super reserved, didn't talk much, just went to the store and came back quick. But whatever, right? Some people are just like that. I never paid it much mind. The weird stuff started on a Tuesday night. I was gaming on my PC, headphones half on, when I caught this strange sound coming from the backyard. It was like a whimper, real faint, almost like someone trying to talk through a gag. I figured it was in my head. You know how, when you're wiped out, your brain plays tricks on you? The next night, same thing. Same time, around 11 or so. This time I pulled off my headphones and just stood there listening. And I heard it. I swear. My name. Lucas, super quiet. Coming from below, like the ground was echoing it. That freaked me out big time. But I didn't tell anyone. Just stayed on high alert. By the third night, I couldn't sleep. I was obsessed with that sound. Grabbed my phone and went out to the backyard, near the fence. I pressed my ear to the dirt ground, and I swear it sounded like someone was down there, whispering, crying, begging for help. But it was muffled, like it was coming from underground. From the fourth night on, it wasn't just crying anymore. There was this weird background noise, like a chant. I don't know, kind of religious, but creepy as hell. Slow, almost hypnotic. I got hooked. Started recording with my phone on the sly. On the fifth day, I climbed up to the back of the roof, which has a clear view of Mrs. Marina's backyard. Man, what I saw still makes my stomach churn. At the far end of her yard, there was a hidden door in the ground, like a trapdoor. It was cracked open, with this yellowish light spilling out. I grabbed my dad's old binoculars and checked it out. There was a staircase going down. Looked like an underground basement, but nobody ever said that house had a basement. It was just a flat, one-story place. I waited a bit, but no one came or went. The lights stayed on, so I decided to take a look the next morning, keeping it low-key. But the door was locked with a huge padlock, and the wood was heavy. I peeked through a gap between the boards and saw a piece of tied-up cloth. White, grimy, dirty. That night, I climbed back up to the roof, this time recording with my phone. That's when things got really bad. The whisper turned into something else. Different voices, men and women, singing this repetitive melody together. Almost tribal, and mixed in with the voices, you could hear moans. Painful ones. Someone was groaning, hard, like they were being tortured. The light showed a raw brick room, no finish. In the middle, a metal chair with someone tied up with ropes. Head slumped to one side, messy hair, pale skin. It was a guy, alive I think, but totally drained. And the freakiest part, a bunch of lit candles all around him, in circles like it was some kind of ritual. That's when I froze. This wasn't a joke. It wasn't my imagination. There was someone really there, tied up, being, held by those people. Panic hit me like a ton of bricks. I scrambled down from the roof, nearly twisted my ankle, ran inside, locked all the doors, and called the cops. It took them almost an hour to show up. I thought they wouldn't even take me seriously. But luckily, one of the officers wanted to see the video I recorded from the roof. The guy went pale as a ghost. Right away, they called for backup. They busted down the neighbor's back door. And yeah, the basement was there. Exactly like I'd seen. They arrested both neighbors. According to the cops, the guy tied up was a man who'd been missing for over 2 weeks. Dehydrated in shock, but still alive. They couldn't make out what he was saying, just a bunch of nonsense. But you could catch him saying he was taken by mistake. Wrong choice, he kept muttering. The rest, nobody spilled. After that, they sealed off the house. The news showed up in the neighborhood, but they weren't allowed to film. They called it a classified case. The neighbors never came back. And the guy in the chair? I never found out what happened to him. Didn't make the news, didn't pop up on social media. Just gone, like he never existed. Sometimes I think maybe I shouldn't have gotten involved. But when I remember those nights, that voice saying my name, I keep wondering, why me? How'd it know my name? I moved into this old house at the start of the second semester. It was close to campus, the rent was cheap, and I needed to save some cash. Didn't think twice when I saw the listing. The landlord was a nice old lady. Said the house belonged to her brother who passed away a few years back. She handed me the keys, wished me luck, and just asked that I not mess with anything structural. Cool. I just wanted a quiet spot to study and crash. The house was one of those old neighborhood builds. High ceilings, creaky wooden floors, built-in closets in the bedrooms. It wasn't pretty, but it had this run-down kind of charm. On the second day, while I was trying to organize my books in the bedroom closet, I noticed the back wall didn't feel right. It sounded hollow when I knocked. I pulled out the shelves and found a crack. And behind it, a door. A short door with an old knob and a damp smell seeping through the gaps. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and went for it. What I found was a basement with red brick walls, low ceiling, dust everywhere, and a stench of mold and rust. The wooden staircase creaked with every step. Down there wasn't much. Some old boxes, a chained-up cabinet, and, in the corner, an ancient computer. One of those bulky tube monitors, huge, with a yellowed keyboard. Everything was caked in dust, but it was on. Yeah, on. Like someone had been there yesterday. The weirdest part, there wasn't a power outlet in sight. And yet, the computer was running. It was creepy, but curiosity got the better of me. I sat on a rusty chair that squeaked like it hadn't been touched in years and started poking around. There was just one folder on the desktop, videos. Inside, dozens of files with dates. Most from the same month, same year, that same week. I clicked one. The footage was grainy, black and white, like from a security camera. It was my bedroom. The camera was at a high angle, like above the closet. And there I was, sleeping, on the mattress I just set up. The recording was from last night. My stomach dropped. I shut it down and bolted upstairs. Pushed the dresser against the closet, closed the windows, turned off the light. Sat on the bed, trying to make sense of it. Maybe a prank? Someone who lived here before, pulling a joke? But how could it be a video from last night? I tried to sleep, but every creak of the floorboards with the wind kept me on edge. The house felt like it was breathing. Every squeak, every thud, like it was moving, trying to push me out. The next day, I tried calling the landlord, but the number was disconnected. I checked the lease. No last name, no address, just her first name and signature. I went back to the basement that evening like I needed to prove it was all in my head. But nope, the computer was still there. And there was a new video file, dated last night. I clicked it. This time, the camera showed something different. Me, lying in bed, rolling over. Normal so far. But then, at 27 minutes in, a shadow moved in the corner of the room. A figure, standing, watching me, right by the door. You couldn't see its face, just the outline. Then the footage froze for a few seconds, like it glitched. When it came back, I was in the same position. But the figure was gone. I paused the video and ran. Called a friend from college, asked to crash at his place. Didn't tell him everything, just said I was feeling sick. Stayed away for 3 days. When I came back in broad daylight, the first thing I did was rip out the closet shelf and go down with a flashlight, ready to unplug everything. But the computer was gone. In its place was a wooden box. Inside, dozens of DVDs, all labeled with numbers. And a note. You shouldn't have watched. But now that you have, keep watching. Don't stop. My heart nearly stopped. I threw the DVDs in a bag, locked the basement again, and took them to campus. Used one of the computers in the AV lab to check the files. Some were from my first nights. Others from different angles in the house. One looked like it was filmed from the bathroom. Another from the kitchen. All black and white. Always me, alone, sleeping, walking, looking in the mirror. And in every single one, at some point the figure appeared. Always in the corner. Always standing. Always watching me. I went to the police. Took everything. Told them what I could. One cop tried to calm me down, saying it was probably a fake, maybe someone I knew, maybe a neighbor. They said they'd look into it. Took my statement. Never called me back. I stayed in the house for another week, barely sleeping, leaving every light on. I didn't go back to the basement. Started looking at the closet like it was alive. Sometimes I swear I heard the wood shifting, even with the dresser blocking the door. Like someone on the other side was gently pushing. I decided to get out. Rented a small room near downtown and bailed. Didn't tell my mom. Didn't tell my friends. To this day, I can't explain how that computer was powered, who recorded the videos, or what that figure was. But one thing chilled me to the bone weeks later. I was walking back from class at night when I passed a pawn shop. In the window, among old gadgets, books, and junk, I saw an ancient monitor, identical to the one in the basement. On the screen, there was a frozen image. It was my face, sleeping,